Hi, this is James Sugg with Westpac London's end of day report for Thursday, August the 23rd. Look, sentiment in Europe started off with a bit of a negative tone. We had the Chinese PMI, advanced PMI that HSBC put out, which came in quite sharply lower. And that kind of offset the favourable impact of speculation about further Fed easing that derived from the minutes that were published to the meeting of the FOMC early this month after the European close last night. But then there was a focus renewed on European events. We saw comments from Schäuble, the German finance minister. I better quote them actually. He said that allowing Greece more time to meet its debt obligations would not solve the country's problems and would increase costs for creditors. Well, that's just a statement of fact. I mean, it doesn't actually suggest that it's any more likely to happen or not, i.e. an extension of time in terms of Greece's budget deficit reduction targets, but markets didn't like it anyway. Now, EU finance ministers have met with the Greek Prime Minister. The Greek Prime Minister is now travelling to see the German leader, I think the French leader, by the end of this week. So we might get some sort of announcement soon. My gut feel is there'll be some sort of compromise. I mean, no one will be entirely happy, no one will be completely unhappy. But as I say, that's just my view. On the data front today, we had the composite PMI, the advanced PMI reading for Europe, edged up just 0.1 from 46.5 to 46.6 in August. I mean, the detail actually showed a weaker German services PMI, but higher factory PMIs in both France and Germany. Although the overall factory PMI was still in negative territory, i.e. sub 50. So that's the 11th month now out of the last 12 that we had sub 50 readings for the composite, and that's pretty much consistent with the mild recession that Europe's been in over that period of time. In the US, we had new home sales up 3.5% in July, reversing the prior month's fall. A clear uptrend now in place in new home sales, still running at very low levels compared to where they were 5 or 6 years ago, but an uptrend in place over the past year now. Jobless claims, the measure of weekly layoffs in the US, rose 4,000 to 372,000 in the latest week. A bit of an uptrend now emerging there too. I mean, over the last 4 months, the range for claims has been 352k to 392k. At 372k, it's right in the middle of the range and heading upwards. So a little bit of disappointment on that number as well. Oh, European consumer confidence too. Big fall there from minus 21.5 to minus 24.6. That index is very sticky, but it's really fallen away sharply of late. A lot of households in Europe clearly worried about developments there. If you're a German, you're going to pay more tax. If you're in Greece, your economy is going down the gurgler. And all sorts of other depressing stories in between. That's about it really. A couple of things. The CBI's retail survey for August, disappointed here in the UK. Yes, there was a lot of Olympics buzz, but it didn't translate into the high street, it seems. German GDP unrevised at 0.3% growth in the second quarter. Exports were the main driver of that, the detail today showed. And that's about it really. In terms of markets then, pretty negative in Europe, with the exception being the FTSE. It's up 0.2% in London, but the French market down 0.9%, the German market down 0.8%, the Spanish market down 1.2%, and a similar loss on the Italian market today as well. The Dow at the moment, and it's 420 in London, is down 2/3%. It's at 13,089, with the jobless claims numbers and the negative vibe out of Europe the main drivers there, I suspect. Commodity markets, we've got some gains to report though. With oil up to $97.68 a barrel, up 0.4%. Copper's up 1.3%. Gold's up 2.1% at $1,675 an ounce. And the Aussie dollar is at 1.047 against the US dollar. Hasn't really moved much, been pretty sticky in the recent range. And we've got Glenn Stevens, the Reserve Bank Governor, giving his semi-annual testimony to the Treasury Committee that he talks to twice a year. Okay, that's coming up on Friday in Sydney time. Okay, I'll speak to you again after the London session tomorrow.